Namaskaram. In Mahabharatam, we didn't complete the story of Yavakreeta. Let me start from the beginning and run through the story quick until where we had left it. It's the story of two Brahmins, two sages, Raibhya and Bharadwaja. They were good friends. Raibhya had two sons and Bharadwaja had one son. Bharadwaja's son was named Yavakreeta, and this is the story of Yavakreeta. Raibhya's sons were Arvavasu and Paravasu. We should have mentioned but forgot that Bharadwaja is very famous sage. One of the families in Kerala, Brahmin families in Kerala, are grouped as per the tradition, and Bharadwaja is one famous group, one large group. We belong to Bhargava Gotra, but there are people belonging to Bharadwaja Gotra and Vishwamitra Gotra. Not many Gotras are there in Kerala. Bharadwaja also got very famous because he was a Vedic Rishi. It was one of the few rishis to whom Vedic mantras were revealed. And not only that Vedic mantras were revealed to him, if you take the entire Rigveda, which is divided into 10 mandalas, the sixth mandala is entirely comprising mantras visualized by, revealed to Bharadwaja and to some of his disciples. So the Gotra to the group, but Bharadwaja was the head of the Gotra. And also, as I mentioned that day, I have heard that Bharadwaja Samhita gives a lot of aircraft designs. I haven't got more details on that. Now, this Raibhya and his sons, they were great rishis with a lot of power from meditation. Bharadwaja's son Yavakreeta did a lot of penance, but he had only one aim, that he and his father should be the most widely acknowledged as the authority on Vedas. So he did long years of penance. He hadn't spent enough time with gurus, learning from gurus. He wanted to get it as a boon from gods directly. So he started meditating and severe penance. So the heat generated was so severe that the gods were in trouble, and they asked Indra to reveal to this guy Yavakreeta. Indra appeared before Yavakreeta, and Yavakreeta asked for a boon which will make him and his father very famous for their knowledge of Vedas. But Indra said, no, I can't do that because you haven't learned from a teacher's mouth. That is the only way to learn. So go and spend time with a teacher and learn until your teacher is satisfied. But Yavakreeta was not prepared to do that. He continued with his penance. Indra came a second time and warned him, look, in this sort of shortcut is dangerous. So I warn you against that. And Indra left. Yavakreeta continued. Finally, Indra came and out of desperation gave him the boon that he and his father will be the most renowned experts on Vedas. And Indra left, and Yavakreeta stopped his tapas and came to his father with excitement, saying, "Father, look, I have earned scholarship on Vedas for myself and you from Indra directly." But Bharadwaja said, "Son, but that is a wrong way. You should learn from a guru's mouth. This sort of shortcut will make you very proud and will lead you into disaster." But Yavakreeta wouldn't listen to all that. He was going around boasting of his knowledge of Veda, and he became reckless. He even went to Raibhya's hermitage when the men were not there, and he found Paravasu's wife, and he was enamored by her, and he wanted her to have an affair with him. Paravasu was frightened that this Yavakreeta, because of his power from meditation, he might curse her otherwise. So she agreed. But she was not willing. So she was crying in a corner in the hermitage. And when Raibhya came, he found her and asked her what the matter. She explained. Then Raibhya became very angry. He did a havan. In that he did a lot of havan, and then he pulled out one hair and offered that in the fire. From that came a very beautiful woman. And he again took out one hair and performed the havan, and out came a demon. And this demon went and attacked Yavakreeta. And Yavakreeta was scared. He ran towards his hermitage and to the place where they perform yajna, because that is one place which gives a lot of energy, protects the sages. But because he hadn't washed his feet to be cleaned, he was looking for his kamandulu. But then that woman who came out of Raibhya's havan, he came and snatched the kamandalu and ran away. So Yavakreeta ran towards the nearby pond, but that turned out to be dry. He went to another, that also turned to be dry. And wherever he ran, the water turned dry. The demon was meanwhile chasing him, and he came, caught hold of Yavakreeta and killed him. When Raibhya heard about it, he was very sad because Yavakreeta was the only son. So he performed his last rites, and he himself jumped into the funeral pyre because he didn't want to live without his son. So yeah, that was a sad end to Raibhya and his son Yavakreeta. Meanwhile, Paravasu and Arvavasu, they were invited by a disciple of Raibhya to perform a satra. Satras are yajnas which last for a long time, years. Minimum 1 year, it can go into several years. Long period yajnas. And they were performing that, and and something happened to their father Raibhya. Yeah, some. I forget that. Anyway, Raibhya has died meanwhile by an accident. So, this Paravasu, Arvavasu went to cremate him properly, and he came back, and I forget. It was like that. So, in that Satra, Raibhya was invited, and so were Paravasu and Arvavasu. And one morning, Paravasu went to his hermitage to visit his wife. It was early morning. He couldn't see properly, and Raibhya had covered himself with a deer skin to protect from the cold weather. And he had gone out. It was dark, and Paravasu, he saw Raibhya, and he mistook him to be a man and sent an arrow towards it to protect himself. Unfortunately, the arrow hit the target, and Raibhya fell down dead. And when Paravasu discovered his mistake, he was sorry. He performed his father's last rites, and came to the, what is it called, Satra, where Arvavasu was performing. Then he told Arvavasu, look, I have committed this sin, Brahmahatya. So I need to be remedied. I need the saved, karma vipaka of that. And there are prescribed ceremonies. So he requested Paravasu, he requested Arvavasu to perform the the remedial rituals. And Arvavasu agreed. So when he went out, Paravasu came, sat, and he continued doing the Havan, the Satram. And Arvavasu went, it was Arvavasu who did the last rites of his father, and he also did the ritual for Paravasu. And when he was returning, Paravasu played trick. He instructed the gatekeepers that his brother had committed a Brahmahatya, so he is not eligible to enter the Satra, the site. So you shouldn't let him in. And they, when Arvavasu came, they blocked him. They said, you have done Brahmahatya. Arvavasu said, no, sorry, I haven't done it. It was my brother who did it. I went to do remedial ritual for him. But the gatekeepers thought he was joking, so they didn't permit him at all. Our time is up, still we haven't finished. So I stop here now. We shall definitely complete the story next day. Namaskaram.